Hey, Dinarland Ninja here. Today is Friday, February 14th, 2020. This is from Dinarland Highlights from February 13th. Okay, from Mountain Goat article, Salah al-Basui al-Barzani are tools to implement the new U.S. plans in Iraq. There's a U.S. plan of Iraq. They're implementing it. This is how this entire protesting stuff started. It was the beginning of the end of the Iranian militias and politicians in Iraq. But it takes time, so be patient. So what we know right now is the CBI wants to continue with the project to delete the zeros, but had to put it on hold since the beginning of the protesters. They told us they intended to complete it by year end. This verified once again that December and January are significant months for the CBI to complete this project. Many keep asking if the project will still work outside of December to January timeframe. Yes, it will, but this is not the optimum time the CBI and the Finance Committee would likely like to do it. This week, my CBI contact told me they had two important meetings, and they were all about the project to delete the zeros. I'm telling everyone that this project is very, very important for the 5-year plan of what was supposed to end in 2020. This project was, or still is, supposed to kick off the investment frenzy for Iraq by this time. So we have now entered 2020 without it, so what? It's only mid-February and still they have not paid anything out this year. This is good and we can see we are intentionally holding off. But this can only last so long. The designate PM is desperately attempting to get his government formally completed and ratified by Parliament. He wants to get it right this year. Next, he's going to try to ramrod the 2020 budget with some changes to Parliament and get it passed. Why is this so important for the RV? We know that the 2020 budget includes the reinstatement, as there have been many scenarios played out by consultants hired the CBI to determine different what-if scenarios for different rates. So we wait and watch for two things now. One, getting the new prime minister ratified and this government formed, and two, getting this budget to Parliament and hopefully passed in record time. Okay, from Delta, KTFA. There's something strange going on with the central bank auctions. They did show there's no wire transfers. When you don't have any wire transfers, that's really significant because we know the only way to do that is if the IQD is going international. So the banks are able to do that electronically without them going to the CBI. They are testing something. The currency issue expenses of the CBI. They spent about $46 million in just 1 month to print the currency. This is huge and gives you an indication they are printing, and if my math is correct, they've now printed $170 to $180 million worth of currency in a matter of like a year and a half. Okay, from Caparoni, MCP, which is multiple currency practices, has nothing to do with dual currencies, has to do with pricing. It has to do with the price of goods. MCP is the variation or price of goods from one currency to another. Has nothing to do with dual currencies in a country. That will always exist in Iraq. Okay, Mark Z via PDK, from my contacts in the U.S., they say they haven't seen it yet because there's still a protocol in place saying Trump needs to be out of the country. He does happen to leave for Geneva tonight or tomorrow. I am hoping we're going to see it. I am hearing Iraq has everything put together for an expected vote this weekend to move RV forward. We know in their budget they're still settling all past debts with Kuwait. We know this budget should have been approved in January and requires a much larger rate. We know they're in desperate need of this budget passing, and we know they're saying they will pass it in the next few days. We are clearly almost at the finish line. I hear the Dong May RV at 3 to 4 cents. Let's see. That would still be a good ROI, but I do not believe that. I keep hearing that 47 cents is I'm sorry, above when I said 3 to 4, I meant 30 to 40 cents. I keep hearing that 47 cents is the street rate and it will float higher. If it was to reinstate to where it was years ago, we devalue them. It would be in the $2 to 20 cents or $2.30. Okay, from Sandy F. If there is to be any return on this venture, it will not be the result of anything done by Iraq. Then by whom, if not the CBI? There's basic accounting principle that Dinarland prefers to ignore. The liabilities must be less than the assets or the entity is technically bankrupt. Currency issued is a liability on the CBI, and the CBI has no control over the value of its assets. The bulk of the assets are foreign currency denominated and effectively fixed in value. There is limited equity in the account, so no scope to increase the value of the dinar by any significant amount. Any change to how the value of the assets could be calculated would have to be by international agreement and nothing to do with the CBI. And that's all for now. Thanks for tuning in.